everybody. So I really wanted to go over the book Slawter by Darren Shan. It's the third book in the Demonata series. It's a really cool book. That W, by the way, is purposeful. It is not an accident that is on every single book. That'd be a really bad accident, wouldn't it? But it's essentially the continuation from the first book to the third book of the Demonata series. It's exciting because you find out that Grubbs Grady, his uncle, and his friend are all going to be on the movie set for a new horror film coming out called Slawter. The reason that they get to be a part of it is because their uncle has all of this knowledge about demons and whatnot, so he's going to be helping design all of the demons. So it seems like it's really fun and exciting, and they're so excited to be there. The kids get to take off time from their real school, and they get to take classes with the child actors and actresses that are going to be in this film. So it's cool. They get to meet famous people. They get to see what it's like to be on a movie set, and they have so much fun in the beginning. It seems so much fun when I read it at first. And then, of course, this is a Darren Shan book. It's not going to be all peachy and butterflies and rainbows on the sunset. I mean, there's always got to be horror in it for him to write it. So eventually it gets to the point where there's one of the death scenes seems almost too real, and Grubbs is really adamant about finding out where the child actor is that he kind of befriended. He wants to find him. He's like, what happened to him? I haven't seen him since. And they get him on the phone, but he just knows there isn't something right about what's going on. So you find out the gruesome truth later on, and the ending is pretty crazy. You see that the movement for the group that his uncle is a part of against the demons is much bigger than you thought it was, and you actually get to see it in much bigger view. Also, you get to see more magic than you did before, but you get to see it from people that didn't even know they had magic. It's cool. It doesn't really make sense at first, because when you read the book, you go from this book to this book, and there's another book sandwiched in the middle that really has very little to do with either of the books. It's really just a story about somebody who had a past with Grubbs' uncle, and you say to yourself, why did they put this book in between these two books? It makes sense in the end. It does not make sense right there as you read the third book and you say, why doesn't this make sense? Why? It eventually makes sense. So if you've read it at this point and you're like, why doesn't it make sense? It will. But I can't tell you why, or it would ruin it. But it's definitely more interesting than this book. And I also think it's more interesting than Demon Thief was. But it's not the best of the series either. I give it a 4.5, I think. It was really interesting, but after you read it, there's more coming for sure. It's not the type of book you read and you can't even understand how an author could write a book after that. But it's definitely a very good book. So I'm gonna do a review on Beck next. So see you soon.